Martha Rhodes was born in the quiet region of rural Illinois. Born in the year 1955, a time when the United States had a great influence of conservatism. Yet, Martha's parents were Orthodox. Her father Jonah was a cab driver and an active volunteer at the church. Her mother, being a household, also worked as a freelance service giver at the church. Martha's parents were extreme devotees to the religion and would often be seen attending all the events that happened in the church. Martha was the only child of her parents, and they wanted her to become religious too. They wanted their only daughter to become a nun, or at least visit the church regularly. Martha would never like to go to church with her parents, and even on Sundays, when her parents would force her to go, she would not like it, but would accompany her parents just for their love. Martha always believed that religion was a personal choice, and it is not something that should be imposed on others. Martha would get into debates over religion with her parents, but being conservative, her parents would often use blackmailing tactics on her. They would tell her verses from the scriptures and Bible about the confrontation with her parents, and how it made God unhappy. Martha had always loved her parents. They were the only people in her life that she cared about. However, the clash in interests and rigidity from both sides eventually made Martha distant from her family. She would find herself suffocating in the house, and soon when she got admitted into the Veterinary Sciences University, she moved out of the house. She would only visit her parents if there was some special occasion like Christmas, and a few others. She got pushed away from the family, and she missed it too. But whenever she would come, she would get into an argument with her parents over anything. Her parents also did not like her daughter drifting away from them, but they could not help their expectations from Martha dominate their love for her. Besides her parents, Martha cared about her only friend from school, Evelyn Ramori, who was just a year older than Martha. She was born into a family that was quite open-minded. Evelyn's parents had brought her up with freedom of expression and personal independence. She became friends with Martha in school, and they both accompanied each other all along. They even graduated from the same school in high school. It was only at the university that they changed their paths, and when Martha opted for veterinary sciences, Evelyn went for an education degree. She wanted to become a doctor. Martha was quite inspired by Evelyn and her views. Since their childhood, they would spend most of their free time together. Martha would envy Evelyn over her parents. She would always admire Evelyn's life since she was the one who lived Martha's dream life. All her life, Martha wanted nothing but love and support from her family. She ultimately found it in Evelyn, her true friend. Martha and Evelyn became best friends, and even after they were separated by their universities, they would meet regularly. Whenever they would get time, they would sit and remember the days of their being together every day. Even when Martha wanted to marry Drake, her boyfriend from the university, it was Evelyn who supported her decision, even though Martha's parents were against this marriage. Evelyn too married the love of her life, and they both got busy in their lives. Martha had to move to New York with her husband. The decision was hard for her to get separated from the only friend she had. Even though they tried to remain connected, the responsibilities of career and family did not give them enough chance to maintain their connection. Eventually, they got disconnected from each other. Martha and Drake spent the first few years of their life with love and passion. It was as if she had found the love of the family after all. She loved her husband and would never have imagined what she would do later on. As time passed, the responsibilities of the relationship grew. Martha and Drake had 2 sons. With responsibilities, the expectations grew too. Martha, who had suffered enough for the sake of expectations from her family, could not help the triggering of her past traumas, and eventually, under the burden of her dark experience with her family, cracks started to appear in her perfect married life of hers. Martha would find herself intimidated by the expectations of her husband and children. She would lose control, and often make things worse. She would scold the children and would get into fights with her husband. She would cry later, regretting she is doing the same to her children, what her parents did to her. Her mental health worsens day by day. Her husband could not bear all this anymore, and they eventually got divorced in 2010, giving the custody of the children to her husband. She moved back to her hometown in Illinois. Time went by, and she got herself busy with her career and all. One day, as she was sitting in a local cafe, she saw a woman she thought she might know. When approached her, she found it was Evelyn. It was a very happy day for her. She felt like she had traveled in the past. All the flashes of their memories came to her. The two of them sat till midnight getting drunk and discussing their memories together. Martha was sorry to find Evelyn's husband died in an accident. However, the two of them did not let their bad moments disturb them. From that time, the two of them started to meet regularly in the nearby restaurants and at home. They would often be seen spending time with each other. It was like their young days had come back. Their favorite restaurant was the one with the jazz music in it. There they would go on almost all the weekends. In the restaurant, the band worked a handsome young boy One day, when the two ladies got drunk after dinner, they noticed the presence of that boy, being separated from their partners for quite some time now. They felt something for that boy. They both had gotten bored with their single life, and since they had been like it for a while, a sense of loneliness developed in them. This was the first time they noticed and took an interest in Liam. Liam was born in 1996 in a small town in Chicago. Liam's parents were not so well off. They were not even stable financially. Belonging to a working-class background, Liam from his childhood had a dream of becoming a successful musician one day. He studied at the university and took a job in a restaurant too to support his career. He was good-looking and often caught the sight of many. Many people admired the charm and the musical skills he got and thought one day he might become a top musician globally. When Martha and Evelyn saw him, he reminded them of their days of youthfulness. Since they used to visit the restaurant regularly, they both would stare him for long without disclosing their love for him. Each of them would treat him nicely and give financial assistance in the form of heavy tips. Both the women had developed a lust for him. They wanted to get him without letting the other know about it. At the front, they would show maternal interest in Liam, but deep down they both had some dark intentions. Evelyn was the first one to approach Liam. She asked him to meet her. Liam, not knowing what was about to happen, agreed. They had decided on a place for their meeting. Evelyn sat at the table waiting for him anxiously. She doubted his arrival, but when Liam arrived, she was thrilled. She treated him to an expensive dinner and gifts. Liam, belonging to the working class, was so delighted by all this that he could barely think about the trap he was getting trapped into. The two of them would often meet at restaurants at expensive dinners from Evelyn. Their bond grew deeper and deeper. Evelyn would shower costly gifts on Liam. One day, they were at Evelyn's having coffee in the lounge when Evelyn, drifting slowly and gradually towards him, got near Liam. She confessed her feelings to Liam, and while Liam was processing the response to her proposal, the two of them were kissing. After that, the two of them would often get intimate. They were having a quality time together. They were even different, but their love was so intense that they knew nothing but passion. Liam's life was going well, and so was Evelyn's. They were perfectly happy together. It was when Martha started approaching Liam. She also spent her money lavishly on him. She would buy him expensive gifts and give him a good sum of money for expenses. Liam, blinded by greed, got into a relationship with Martha too. The two of them would often be involved in intimate activities. Liam was having a good time with the two women, and never did the three disclose their relationship to each other. A significant change was, however, observed in their behaviors. The two friends who would meet regularly now met less frequently. They did not ask or give each other the reasons, but they let themselves go with the flow. It was going well for all three of them. Martha and Evelyn, however, realized their distance from each other and wanted to get along more often. One night at Martha's place, while the two got drunk, Martha said she wanted to disclose something to Evelyn. Evelyn, judging the look on Martha's face, saw something good was coming up. Little did she know it was a revelation that would have severe consequences. Martha expressed her love for Liam and disclosed her relationship with him. It was as if the earth had slipped away off Evelyn's feet. She could not digest the fact. She remained quiet for a while in deep thoughts when she was awakened by Martha's questions. "Are you all right, Evelyn?" asked Martha. "You do not seem happy." Tears fell on Evelyn's cheek when she told Martha about her relationship with Liam. At first, Martha could not believe this, but when Evelyn showed her pictures of Liam and her kissing, Martha lost her control. She cursed Liam and Evelyn both. She even asked Evelyn to leave her house. Evelyn wanted to make things right with her, but Martha would not give a chance. After a series of humiliations by Martha, Evelyn stopped her efforts to maintain contact with Martha. The three of them broke up. But Martha, who had spent a huge sum of her savings and emotions on Liam, could not digest the situation. She took a break from everything and remained isolated for a few weeks. After some days, when she finally got a little stable, she gathered the courage to confront Liam. She wanted to threaten by reminding him of all the favors that she did to him and would eventually get back with Liam, only to bypass Evelyn. But contrary to her expectations, Liam would not answer her calls or texts. She even visited the restaurant where he worked, but he had left that place too. In despair, she could do nothing but mourn over her fate. A few days passed. She walked by a street when in a local restaurant she saw Liam and Evelyn enjoying each other as company. This was unacceptable for Martha. She was filled with rage. She felt jealous of Evelyn. Not only this, she brought all childhood memories of envying Evelyn and regulated them into jealousy towards Evelyn. She now hated Evelyn for being so blessed compared to her. and was filled with extreme anger. She could not help but let her emotions and the desire for revenge dominate over her. She made a decision that she would regret later. Evelyn was with Liam when she received an apology text from Martha. She asked her to make things right with her and that she was ready to accept Liam and Evelyn together. She used manipulative tactics and convinced both Liam and Evelyn to believe her. Evelyn trusted her friend for the last 45 years. She would have never thought what her friend was up to. On 11th January 2015, Martha invited the two of them to her home for dinner. She seemingly wants to make things clear with the two. She had prepared both Liam's and Evelyn's favorite meals. Martha was in the kitchen when the doorbell rang. She peeped through the hole to find the couple. It was hard for her to see them together, but she tried to remain calm, to execute the plan she had made a few days earlier. She placed glasses of champagne before them, and they cheered their relationship. Neither of them knew that the drinks were laced with sedatives. Soon after the drinks, the couple went unconscious. Martha quickly grabbed a knife and stabbed Liam in the chest with it. She was full of rage. Her emotional outburst was at its peak, and she hit him at least 12 times. While she attempted to attack her best friend Evelyn, she could not do it. She tried to kill her, but some unseen force would stop her hand from doing so. She sat there crying for hours and ultimately passed out. A few hours later, she was awakened by the shrieks of Evelyn. When Evelyn woke up, she saw the body of Liam soaked in blood and a dagger in Martha's hands. She could not help but shout. Martha was awakened by all this. Evelyn was scared to death by this. She tried to stay away from Martha and wanted to leave her house and report to the police. She was crying and threatening Martha that she would call the police. Martha tried to stop her, but Evelyn helped herself from the couch where lay the dead body of Liam. Just as she was approaching the door, she felt a sharp hit in her back. It was Martha who stabbed her in the back, and this time she did it. Evelyn turned around, but Martha in a panic could not help and stabbed her half a dozen times too. Evelyn fell on the ground and died due to extreme blood flow. Martha in a frenzy tried to clear everything up. She tried to clear the crime scene and dismembered the two bodies to dispose of them in the lake. She tried to continue her life as normal, but soon Liam's parents reported him missing. The police searched for him and through their investigations found out about his relationship with the two ladies. Evelyn being missing too was also on the search list of police. One day, a few friends who came to a nearby lake for fishing found some pieces of human body. They immediately reported to police. The forensics test revealed the body parts belonged to Liam and Evelyn. The police narrowed their investigation around Martha and ultimately, while connecting the dots, found a suspicious connection with Martha. Through CCTV and other evidence, the police ultimately were at a place where they could arrest Martha. They charged her with the murder of two people. While at court, she denied having committed any murder at first, but when the evidence was shown in the court, she ultimately accepted the charges, but pledged guilty on psychological grounds to minimize her sentence. The court, however, showed no mercy towards the heinous criminal and sentenced her lifetime in prison with no possibility of parole, while serving the justice. This case had severe impacts on the people of Illinois. There were mixed reviews about the judgment. While some termed it as justice being served, others criticized such a harsh sentence. Slowly and gradually, life came to normal in the town, but Liam's family could never recover from the loss of their beloved child, who aspired to be a top musician one day. If you like this story, make sure you hit the like button. Also, subscribe to our channel to get informed about more crime stories. Make sure to press the bell icon too. Stay tuned for more videos.